You have walked beside others for so long that you have forgotten the sound of your own steps. You move with their laughter, their wounds, their ambitions, and you name it life. Yet somewhere deep inside, you sense that none of it truly belongs to you. The courage to walk alone is not about abandoning people, it is about rediscovering yourself. And the moment you hear your own footsteps again, even silence turns into a companion. In this talk, I will show you how to transform the fear of being alone into the power of awareness. You will discover why walking alone is not isolation but the independence of the soul. I will guide you through the layers of conditioning that keep you clinging to people, beliefs, and identities that were never yours. And as each illusion dissolves, you will see that being alone is not the absence of love but the presence of truth. This is not a lesson in separation. It is an invitation into inner wholeness. The world has trained you to fear solitude. From childhood you were told to fit in, to belong, to be accepted, to never stand apart. You learn to perform instead of feel, to agree instead of know. And when you find yourself alone, you feel lost, as if something essential is missing. But what if being alone is not a wound? What if it is the medicine? What if the very silence you escape from is where life begins to speak to you directly? I am not asking you to reject others. I am asking you to meet yourself so deeply that whether you walk with 10,000 people or with none, you remain complete. In this exploration, we will uncover the mystery and strength of walking alone, not as rebellion, but as the flowering of freedom. We will see how dependence creates suffering, how the crowd steals individuality, and why true connection becomes possible only after solitude. I will show you how loneliness can become meditation, silence nourishment, and aloneness love. Perhaps, somewhere in this journey, you will feel the gentle pull of your own being, the one that has waited patiently beneath all the noise. Stay with me until the end, and you will not only understand why you do not need them, you will realize why you never did. People live surrounded by others, yet remain strangers to themselves. From birth you are taught that belonging equals survival and that standing alone is dangerous. So you grow up smiling without joy, agreeing while your heart whispers no, walking with the crowd even when every step feels wrong. Slowly, you merge with the noise and forget the taste of silence. Most people miss a simple truth: they believe togetherness means connection. But often what they call love, friendship, or family is merely a pact between fears. Two frightened beings holding each other so they do not have to face their own emptiness. You ask, but Osho, isn't love about being together? Yes, but first you must learn how to be with yourself. Otherwise, what you call love is only escape. It is like two beggars asking each other for bread, both hungry, both empty, neither able to give. That is not love, it is fear disguised as closeness. The crowd becomes a drug. Surrounded by others, you feel less responsible for your misery. You think, at least I am not alone. And so you cling to people, to groups, to beliefs, anything that keeps you from hearing your own heartbeat in the dark. Why do crowds exist? Why do religions, ideologies, and movements attract so many lost souls? Because the crowd offers a false sense of safety. You disappear into the mass, and with it, the fear of facing yourself disappears too. But safety is not peace, and comfort is not fulfillment. In the crowd, you are no longer an individual. You become a reflection. You laugh because others laugh, believe because others believe. You trade your soul for approval and call it belonging. I am not against togetherness, I am against false togetherness. True togetherness is possible only when two individuals meet from wholeness, not need. When you are alone and complete, and the other is alone and complete, your meeting becomes sacred, not a bargain, but a celebration. But when you depend on another to fill your emptiness, you are not lovers, you are prisoners sharing the same cell. Let me tell you a story. A man once ran across a field, terrified of his own shadow. No matter how fast he ran, it followed him. Exhausted, he collapsed under a tree and stopped. In that stillness, the shadow vanished. Laughing, he said, "It was never chasing me. I was running." So it is with loneliness, it exists only because you keep running from yourself. Stand still, and it disappears. The first step toward freedom is seeing how much of your so-called love is fear in disguise. When you are afraid of being alone, you compromise truth, suppress your soul, and wear masks just to remain accepted. But anything built on fear will collapse. The crowd may protect you briefly, but it will also suffocate you. You breathe again only when you step out. And when you do, something miraculous happens. You realize your loneliness was never your enemy. It was a messenger calling you home. The pain was not punishment, it was life inviting you inward. Silence does not destroy you, it saves you. Sit with yourself. Without reaching for anyone. Without needing agreement. In this stillness, you see clearly, you were never missing people, you were missing yourself. And once loneliness is no longer the enemy, the real journey begins. When you finally sit with yourself, without distraction, a quiet spaciousness opens. At first it feels uncomfortable. The mind resists, calling silence dangerous, like death. But what dies is not you, it is the false self built by imitation and dependence. As it dissolves, what remains is a presence so alive that you realize aloneness is not emptiness, it is overflowing completeness. Loneliness and aloneness are not the same. Loneliness is the absence of the other. Aloneness is the presence of yourself. Loneliness is a wound, aloneness is healing. Loneliness waits for arrival. Aloneness realizes nothing is missing. You are both guest and host, temple and worshipper. In aloneness, you stop seeking approval and begin to hear your own truth, a fragrance no crowd can give. An inner authority arises, not of power, but of knowing. Life becomes a dance, not a destination. The wind, the breath, the leaves, all become alive again. The mind fears emptiness because it cannot control it. But the heart understands. This emptiness is peace. It is the background of existence, the silence from which all arises. Creativity, insight, and true love are born here. Think of a seed in the dark soil. It looks like death, yet in that darkness, life begins. Without that aloneness, there is no flowering. Every awakened being has walked this path, Buddha beneath the tree, Jesus in the desert, Lao Tzu wandering alone. They discovered that to be alone is to be one with existence. And when you fall in love with your aloneness, something beautiful happens, you love others for the first time, not from need, but from overflow. Love becomes fragrance, not transaction. Two candles burn together without stealing each other's flame. This is love without chains. Love that breathes. Love that liberates. Walking alone is not turning away from life, it is finally facing it without fear. It is awakening. Dependence dissolves into freedom. Loneliness becomes meditation. Silence turns into song. Love becomes limitless. You were never meant to earn peace, only to remember it. And when you do, you discover the truth. You were never alone.